What's going on, my little piglets? It's your BFF Pork Chop here, and I'm coming at you with another, I guess I'm going to start calling these just pizza stories, because I have a lot of interesting stories, especially when it comes to my job as being a pizza delivery driver by night. Moonlighting as a pizza delivery driver. So, this one was actually, at parts, it could have been kind of scary, and at other parts, it was very sad, and I was very remorseful. So, viewer discretion is advised. Some language is going to be used, not by me, but at what was said to me by somebody. Okay, so Friday night, we're about, I want to say, an hour away from closing. And actually 30 minutes from closing. And I had this big haul the last run that I had, which was 6 stops on this run, and 3 of them were hotels and 3 of them were houses. The houses went off without a hitch. The hotels, the first one, actually, I lied. The houses almost went off without a hitch. The last one did not. And the one that happened was the 4th out of the 6th one. I go to this house and I park in front, and when I get there, there's this little girl, has her face just jammed on the glass, just staring at me and smiling at me. And then she notices that I'm the pizza guy, and she comes running out of the house. And then somebody had to come behind her and stop her, like, whoa, we don't do that. And as I'm getting their stuff, because they ordered a pizza and a bunch of other random items, I found the random items, but I couldn't for the life of me find the pizza. The pizza was nowhere to be found. And I was just puzzled. I was like, did I give it to the wrong person? I had 3 stops before. What happened? What is going on? So I was like, oh my gosh. So the best that I could do at the time was I walked up to the door, and this Hispanic guy answered the door. It was a Hispanic little girl. She was probably about 3 or 4 years old. And this Hispanic guy answered. So I was like, oh, it's probably her dad or her, grandfather or whatever. He was an older Hispanic guy, it looked like. Probably about his 50s or so. But I don't judge. You can have kids in your 40s. You can have kids in your 50s. It's whatever. So I, tell him, I'm like, I have your stuff here, but I can't find your pizza. I apologize. I misplaced your pizza. I don't know where it went. And he just said, okay, no problem. Okay, no problem. Over and over and over again. And I was like, okay, if you tell them my name, if you call up there and you tell them my name, which is Colin, you say, Colin said that I should receive a free pizza on my next delivery because he couldn't find it. He said, okay, no problem. I was like, thank you, have a good night. He's like, yeah, good night. And so I'm like, okay. I got off scot-free. I felt kind of bad because I couldn't find the pizza, and I was still, scratching my head, where is this pizza? And as I'm about to get in my car and leave, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people run out of the house like it's on fire. They run out of the house, and I realize that they're kind of upset. So I get out of my car and I walk back up to the front porch, and one of the ladies said, what did you say to him? And I was like, what did I say to him? What is he talking about? And it was at that point I realized that, oh, he doesn't speak English. I said, ooh, okay. So that's why he kept saying, yeah, no problem, over and over and over again. But I said, oh, I told him that I misplaced your pizza, and I told him that y'all can get a free one because I messed up. So if you call up there and tell them that I said that they get a free pizza, you should get a free pizza, no questions asked, your next delivery. And this one guy was like, this one guy just popped out of nowhere, popped behind these people and just looked at me and says, no, you need to call him. You're the one that fucked up. You need to call him and tell him you fucked up. And I said, you're right. I said, you're absolutely right, sir. I will definitely call them. I'll call them right now. I will go back to my car and I will call them as soon as I leave here. And so I walked back to my car. Actually, before I walked back to my car, I looked down, and looking up at me is this little Hispanic girl with her lip so far out she could have tripped on it. And her eyes were, were wet. She was starting to cry. And she just, nah, where's my pizza? Where's my pizza? Like, just starts crying, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I was like, I'm so sorry. I apologize. I don't know what happened to your food. I'm so sorry. And, you know, she's crying, then her mom's kind of pulling her back and, you know, like telling her to, like, stop it. Stop doing that. Don't do that. And I guess the other female, I guess is her aunt or something, is just laughing because she thinks it's hysterical for some reason that a child is crying because they didn't get their food. And I kind of laughed too, but that was kind of an uncomfortable laugh. And so as I get back to my car, I start, you know, dialing the number for the restaurant. And the guy that yelled at me comes out with the bag of food that I had given him. He said, "You forgot this," which, you know, if he wasn't such an ass, I was going to be like, "You can keep that, sir. That's my mistake. You can keep that. That's free." A couple of salads, an order of wings, something like that, a sandwich, something like that. But he was a jerk, so I was like, "No, I'm good. I'm gonna just take it." And so I call up there, and Chico immediately answers. I'm like, "Hey, Chico, it's Colin. I don't know what the fuck happened to this pizza. This pizza's gone. I don't know. I can't find it." And he said, "No, man, it's cool. It's cool. You're fine. How many deliveries you have left?" I said, 2. He said, "All right, cool. Come back." And as I'm about to leave, the guy, actually, I messed this up, sorry. So he gives me the food, and I take the food, and the guy says, "You smoking weed?" I said, "What?" He says, "You smoking pot? You high? Are you fucking high, dude?" I was like, "No, man. No, sir. I never. I don't do that. No, absolutely not. I'm not high." He says, "Then how do you lose a fucking pizza?" And I said, I'm just as confused as you are. I have no clue. I apologize." And then I get back in the car and call Chico. And Chico's like, "How many deliveries do you have?" I say, 2. And he said, "Okay, just do those as quick as possible and come back." Because at this point, we're closed. And I still have 2 other deliveries to go. And I'm like, bleh, I'm just kind of over it at that point. But I drop off the last 2 deliveries without a hitch. The last one, they were actually really cool. Their food was like an hour and a half late, but they were still like, "Oh, we just thought you forgot about us." I'm like, "No, ma'am." I was like, "It's just been a busy night. It's been ridiculous. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." And so I get back to the restaurant with the bag of food that this guy pretty much threw back at me. And I had a bag full of 2 pizzas. I was thinking, why do I have 2 pizzas? And the number that I had written, because I write down the ticket number on the boxes, that way I know which one to pull when I go up to deliver it to him. It's a number that I didn't even have on my run. So I'm like, oh my God, did I take somebody else's pizza? What's going on? What's happening? And so I check out, I get, you know, my tips, and I go back there because I was closing. So I go back there and I start doing my side work before I can go home. And Roxanne, one of the girls up front, was like, "Hey, can I take some of this food home?" Because Richard had a delivery come back, and so did I. So we had like 3 pizzas back there. We had like multiple boxes of wings. We had a couple of salads that we were just going to toss out. So we're just like, I was like, "Yeah, Rox, you can take whatever you want." And she grabs the top pizzas. "Okay," I said, "humor me. What is on that pizza?" And she told me, "Oh, it's just this pizza." And I was like, "That's their pizza. I had their pizza this whole time. I had their food this whole time." And I'm really, really sad about it, because not only did I, you know, upset a little girl, but that was a big tip that I lost because I didn't have the food, so they canceled the order, so therefore the tip goes bye-bye. And it was a big, big, big tip. It would have put me over $100 that night. And I was like, oh man, that sucks. And so I straight up told Chico, I'm like, "Dude, I messed up. I apologize." He's like, "Dude, it's fine. It happens." He said, I sent you on a 6-runner as your last bit of deliveries. He's like, I apologize. He's like, "I'm not mad at you at all." And I was like, "Oh, I just feel bad," because I told him the story about the little girl. And he was like, "Maybe the guy was asking if you were smoking pot because he wanted some." Because this guy definitely was like, he was a white guy, like the scrawny little white guy. And I was like, yeah, he was kind of the odd man out because it was a Hispanic family. And then you just have this random white guy and a wife beater just hanging out. I'm like, Okay, well, there's that. Have fun. But I was just like, how the heck did I not write down the right number on that pizza box? Because I'm usually really good about double checking my stuff and writing down the numbers correctly and double checking and pretty much just QA. I pretty much was just QA. And so that's the story. I upset a little girl. I almost got my ass kicked, and I wasn't fired. So there you go. All right, guys. Would you like me to share more pizza stories? Let me know down below and comment any other stories you want to hear. And thank y'all so much once again for dropping by. And always remember my little piglets. Colin Pork Chop loves y'all the most. So take it easy, guys. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye, guys.